All right. Hey guys, welcome to the Daily Word. BP, the Bible Perspective. I have a thought, or as you see in the description, the thought. I remember people, our president's businessman skill, and saying that what we need in this nation, they were saying this back in 2015, 2016, what we need is a businessman to lead this nation. How has that worked out? Okay. Now, before we get into it, please like and share this video and subscribe to BP, the Bible Perspective. And as always, if you have a thought or comment, add it to the comment section below. All comments are welcome. Well, as I said, people had touted so that it would be probably refreshing to have a businessman. Now, the thought itself, of course, is not as a bad thought. However, let me tell you why it was uncompatible. I want to get back to the record of our businessman president. But just even if, forget him for a moment and say, even if it was someone more notable, like Bloomberg. Now, when Bloomberg was running, people even thought, hey, he's a better businessman, right? He's a legitimate billionaire. He has many more billions of dollars, many more companies, yada, yada, yada. The problem is that the public sector and the government sector is two different entities. They are ran two different ways. So even if our president was more noble and that he was skilled and wise in all things business, that has nothing to do with how the government is ran. For example, if you say, and this is something our president has done, when a business goes bad, let me say that, back up for a moment. See, our president is more shrewd than he is a good businessman or a wise businessman. He knows, and this is one of the examples you can look at. He has, when he starts a company or he starts a venture, he incorporates it. And then by incorporating it, that identifies him. So when he denied filing bankruptcy, what he meant by that is Donald J. Trump, the man, never filed bankruptcy. But Donald J. Trump, his several corporations did file bankruptcy because that's the law, that's the business game. Here's the other thing is that when businesses go bad, that's what you do. He bankrupts them. Okay? Well, can you do that with the country? When you think about some of our states, you got 50 states, and you look at how different on the economical scale each 50 state is. If you were a businessman, would you close down one state that's poor? It's not performing. See, again, it's just not compatible. Okay? But now let's get back to Donald Trump, who was a businessman, and he was known to, he branded himself. He was a billionaire wonder boy. And what we find out is that it was more branding than it was substance. Now, of course, before he ran for president, he was well known, even celebrated, right? Made such appearances on hit TV shows, in movies. And so and he did have some successes. Now, I live in the Chicago area, and I can tell you that when he built Trump Tower, it was a smashing success. It was so much a success that before they even broke ground, those who were on that first tier investment, it was reported that some of them, in terms of the value, had already made $1 million on their investment. So much so that Trump upped the price on some of the condos that people invested in and bought. Basically, what we've kind of come to find out was that the Trump name is what was the brand and what was making money, and people would attach their business to that name. So a lot of the buildings that you see Trump name on, he doesn't own the building; he just licensed his image, right? His name and his image. As far as Biggins himself, one of the things, of course, when you do run for president, your life is scrutinized and things come out. And what has, of course, come out is that he has resisted, okay, to the bitter end. His taxes come out. Why? Because they tell it all. Well, of course, over the weekend, we know that New York Times has released, gotten a hold of his taxes. So they say. And what they revealed is that he not as rich as he claimed, and that he's only paid like $750 worth of taxes. We know through other sources, okay, that again, he's not the billionaire wonder. That he claimed that he started with $1 million and built it into the $1 billion empire. Well, we know that's not true. We know that his father gave him a substantial inheritance, which he squandered it. We know that his father bailed him out of the many financial failures. So people thought, well, it's going to be great having a billionaire. Now we can kind of judge his experience. We can look at now what he's done to the nation. Let's kind of do a quick review. When he took over, the nation was in good shape. Not the best shape, but in good shape. And that's because his predecessor, Barack Obama, whom he hates, started with the mess from the previous Republican president that brought this country on the verge of a depression and certainly within a recession. At the time that Barack Obama took office, this nation was losing per month, 700,000 jobs, 700,000 jobs per month. Let me say that figure again, 700,000 jobs per month. The banking, the mortgage, the auto, factories were in free fall. As I said, we were on the brink of a depression, and certainly we was in a recession. So Barack Obama started with that and had to turn it around, had to change that. And he did. At some point, we see that he stopped the bleeding, and then the reverse, losing 700,000 jobs per month to a steady job growth until the day he left office. The banking industry, the mortgage industry was all brought out of its red and into the black. In other words, what Barack Obama handed Trump was a good deal. Now, as president, he should have done better. So all of his touting and all of his so-called accomplishments, really, he was supposed to do that, given the good deal he was given. So what happened? Coronavirus hit, and his decision making now put us back into a free fall. 200,000, just within 7 months, 200,000 American lives have died. The economy came to a slow crawl, not to a screeching halt, but to a slow crawl. High employment now that was on a downward trajectory. In other words, you had one of the lowest unemployments, reversed, and now it's high. Why? Because of his decision making. And even now, and as we know, that behind the scenes, he knew what COVID-19 was. And instead of what a good leadership would do, and we could compare this to, let's say, South Korea. When they reported their first case of COVID-19 the same day as America, January 21st. South Korea, under good leadership, immediately educated their people. They wore masks. They put things into effect to hinder the rapid spread of COVID-19. And you see the fruits of that. COVID-19 is a worldwide problem. We don't have a vaccine yet. I'm sorry. It's a worldwide problem. But you see where the fruits of those nations that didn't take it seriously, and our nation leads the world in most cases, in most death, and we're still rising. We still have a rapid spread. Today, we're still losing about 1,000 people. 1,000 people per day are dying in this nation. Of course, just recently we have skyrocketed. We have passed 200,000 deaths. That's leadership, and it shows for leadership. And we know that even back in the beginning, he knew what this disease was. He knew how deadly it was. He said it himself. And instead of, as a good leader, should have said, well, let's put a plan in effect. Let's educate the people. Let's plan for it. Let's prepare, store up PPEs. He did none of that. And things got worse. And the result of having a businessman like Donald Trump, and let me just preference that, having a businessman like Donald Trump, this is what we have today. Worst case scenario, worst cases in COVID-19, economy that's suffering. So again, how is having a businessman like Donald Trump? Look around. And guess what? We don't see any end in sight. Oh, that's my perspective. Don't forget to like and share this video and subscribe to BP, the Bible Perspective. And as always, if you have a comment, add it to the comment section below. All comments are welcome. Till next time, I'll see you then.